Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nate Manahan. I'm here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and it is time for office hours. The calendar has turned. December has come. The cold, bitter chill has come from the north and is invading a good portion of this United States of America that we're so proud to live in. But Thanksgiving is in the past. The cold is here, but we're going to bring the heat today as we bring you things to talk a little bit about how you can take a current client base and turn it into a payments business. And you don't have to just be a one-trick pony. If you're already selling something, you can continue to serve them with what you're selling and serve them with payments and other services as you work together. And sometimes that's the best system and best way to do it. But before I bring our guests on that are going to be talking about how they have done that, let me introduce on our top part of we're going to hide the people, ignore the people in the bottom part of the screen right now, on the upper right-hand part of the screen from Glenwood Springs, Colorado, where I haven't discussed, Jenny, but currently the wind chill here is 15 degrees in Indianapolis, so I think it's like 27 degrees real temperature. What's life like in Glenwood Springs when you're, several thousand feet above me?
It's not quite as cold as that, but it's definitely we got hit with snow, which I'm super happy about. I'm so happy about a white Christmas and the Christmas lights are out, and I actually made my husband go for a drive and check out some Christmas lights in the snow and the cold. So I'm loving life here in Colorado right now.
I love that. Um, I don't love the cold, so I would prefer to be where it's a little bit warmer, but that's coming later in my life. Right now, I continue to serve the great winter here in northern or central Indiana. In northern Indiana, in the middle part of your top of your screen is Mr. Mike Stetzel. Mike, are you loving that there is snow and there have been canceled schools and 2-hour delays and welcome to winter already? And it's December 4th. Come on.
I know. We got hit with snow in November already. This is the largest amount of snowfall we had at one time in 3 years, probably. So, it's okay. Drive through it. The cold stinks. Like you said, later in life, there'll be better places to be. Yeah, it's like 14 degrees wind chill factor, but my daughter rides with a friend. Her best friend just got her license a few days ago, so delays don't affect me like they used to. She's almost 16. I don't get her ready for school. That's been a while. So anyway, yeah, we roll along.
All right. And at the bottom of your screen, our first time with a two-shot from a remote location coming from Georgia. Mr. Mike Stetzel, can you introduce our guests for us today?
Absolutely. Today we have two guys from Georgia. They're involved in a lot of things, and we want to hear about that today. I remember, and again, this goes back to 2022. They sicked Justin's wife on me first, really, back in April 2022. She
Okay,
made
Mike.
this.
Mike, you have the best way of phrasing things sometimes.
She doesn't. I'm not afraid of her, Allie, in the least. But she's like, well, I'm here to talk to you to see if this is something the guys might be interested in doing. So I had to prove to her first that we were cool and we were going to help make them some money. But anyway, yeah, back in 2022. So anyway, on your screen as you're facing them to left, we have Bob Hurd. On the right, we have Justin Lyles. And we just want to welcome you guys and thank you for being partners and faithful partners. And as we've said to almost everybody that's come on this show, we've had issues, we've had mistakes, we've had things that happen, and that's part of a partnership, I think. And you guys have been gracious to work with. You guys are always also willing to do whatever needs to be done, and so yeah, I'm glad to have you guys here. We've been looking forward to this one. I know we had to reschedule a couple times, but here we are. Also, please meet producer Trish in the background. This is the first time we've had people with these mic stands and a full video setup in the back, plus a producer. You guys have killed it. Welcome,
Well,
guys. What's that?
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Can we start off with, I guess, a little bit of background? I know you guys have known each other a while. Tell us how you got together in business. You have several businesses. How does that flow together and kind of land where you are today, if you can, with that summary? Either,
Yeah,
and whoever wants to take that one, sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. Bob and I met back in high school, 10th grade, and kind of met, we meshed well and kind of did a lot of different things together. Different, I was landscaping at the time, wasn't
Yeah, right in high school. Yep.
I? Yeah. So he worked for me, I worked for him. He was he was in the restaurant industry, shortly out of high school, right?
Yeah, yeah. I bought a restaurant about 19, I believe.
Was it
Hmm,
19?
Yep,
Yeah.
awesome.
right out of high school.
Okay.
Okay, now I got to jump in right away because I don't know that I've ever heard someone say they bought a restaurant at age 19. Was that in your family? Like you'd been in restaurants and that'd been something? What brings a 19-year-old? I wasn't buying restaurants at 19. I can promise that. What brings a 19-year-old to buy a restaurant?
Well, yeah, I right out of high school. So during high school, like Justin was talking about, I worked at a restaurant and I'd been eating there all my life. Started bus as a busboy there at 15 years old. Um, Through my connections there at the restaurant, I went to work for Buffalo Rock. They're a Pepsi Cola distributor out of Noonan, Georgia, about an hour away from us. And it was a lot of work. I give it up for those guys, the merchandisers and stuff, especially this time of year. They're doing some crazy work. But I was living at home, and it's pretty much didn't need to spend any money, so I worked all the time, so I saved it up, and I did have some my with my uncle and my resources. We purchased a restaurant, and shortly after purchased a second restaurant. So yeah,
Hmm.
for about a 4 year stint there, I was running and managing, owning a couple restaurants in the recession.
So
Yeah.
I got to eat for free a lot.
There you, yeah, that so well, because I jumped in and kind of started. So you're buying a restaurant, you're running restaurants. You said for 4 years. Um, what was your experience with that, and what as you're 19 moving forward, did you start having a vision that you guys were entrepreneurs and wanting to start business? And how did you guys start realizing you wanted to do things together?
Yeah, well, I think that I well, we've always been real close buddies. So even throughout high school, after I owned that business. He had a stint there where he worked for the fire department. He's always had his own business on the side, like he was saying. He's worked for me. I've worked for him. We've always just kind of met each other where we're at, and then through the recession, I ended up selling the restaurants and uh, he was still doing the firefighter thing, and I went to work for Kia Motors manufacturing plant. So I did a stint there for about 8 years, working in human resources. And while I was there, actually, not long after I'd started, is when Justin had the idea for Promovision, and we did a few sit downs, a few meetings, and we came up with a plan uh, for a very short stint. We actually had a third partner. I don't know, that lasted maybe 3 to 6 months
Yeah,
or something.
few months.
And
He
go ahead.
I was gonna say he just didn't like any aspect of it really. The sales, graphics, this and that. So we bought him out essentially. And that was in 2013. We got that rolling. Um, and what about I guess in 2020?
2020, yeah. So
Yeah.
that was 2013. We got the business up and running. The most simple way to describe the Promovision business is we put TV screens up in restaurants and doctors' offices, places with waiting rooms, anywhere that there would be a crowd, and we give that we call them sponsors free advertising, and in that we sell advertising to other people. So it's effectively like a slideshow on a TV screen. I think we're over 300 locations now.
Over 500 TVs
Yeah,
out there.
maybe 500 screens that we have out there from Atlanta to Macon over into Alabama. So it's a pretty big area that we cover. Um, but anyways, so at 2013, 2014 rolls around, maybe early 2015, we kind of realized I'm still working at the Kia plant down there. Justin's a firefighter, which is good. So that allows him to have some time off,
Yeah.
and he's able to really get out and sell the stuff. We kind of ran into a point where the business was big enough for one person to go full time, but not quite two. So he decided to go all in on Promovision around the 2014, 2015 mark. Uh, I think right in there, enter Trish as well. So she comes on board, and I kind of took a little step back. I was always in the picture, kind of consulting. I'd still help with graphic design and stuff in the background, but I was very much, you know, uh, Justin and Trish and a couple other employees throughout the years were running things. And then fast forward to 2020, we ran into COVID. Uh, that gave us some free time to have some further discussions. Promovision at that point, Justin and Trish had done a good job of growing it, and we decided that there was room for me to step back in the picture. And in that, we also started another business, which is a golf cart sales and service center, where we mostly do refurbished golf carts and sales and stuff like that. We can get any type of golf cart, but that's our bread and butter there. And we also got some real estate holdings as well as a self storage facility. So then I jumped back in the picture. He had quit the fire department, and now we're both full time, just every day, 50-50, working together on everything.
And if we did not have Trish on, definitely on the promo vision side, everything would fall apart.
Trish is everything.
Yes, most
She was
definitely.
awesome.
We stole her from Office Max. We wouldn't go in that Office Max at the time and do business if she was not there working.
Was that your first job, Trish?
That's my second job.
Second job, yeah. She was real young at the time,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah,
18.
we were a little iffy initially, but no, she's phenomenal.
That's awesome. I'll ask one more question, then I'll let Mike and Jenny ask questions. But what? Obviously, at some point, we're going to introduce payments. You're going to be aware of it, but I kind of want to keep what you're learning. Then the progression of building these businesses. What have you learned about working together, about being a successful business? You've gone from a recession to COVID. I mean, all of us have gone through those things, but those hit small businesses the hardest. And you had to sell your restaurant during a recession when people aren't, all those things. What are some of the things that you've learned and kind of grown together as you've started new businesses together? There's some things that stand out. You're like, man, we've learned these things and this has really helped us.
Keep everybody happy. Well, yeah, I mean, we've had, like everybody, some, slow, lulls and whatnot, especially with us having the fire 3 years ago.
3 years, yeah, over 3 years ago.
Just over 3 years. If we didn't have, if we were not so dynamic with everything and have these other businesses, we wouldn't be in business, Um, we know a lot of people. We got a lot of customers. So, being able to sell them a golf cart, a lot of people have businesses that, have golf carts. So just rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing that I would add, especially as a partnership, because you often hear partnerships can be very hard. Uh, and I think that me and Justin now, for over 13 years, working together, you kind of have to not care so much. I don't want to say that the wrong way, but Justin does a great job of letting me kind of explore my interests. I do a good job of, I feel like letting him explore his interests, and I think we both do a good job sitting down to the table and really deciding what makes good business sense. When we should say no to each other and whatnot, but at the same time, we can't be too tight that we're putting each other, in this box or that. So that's something we've definitely learned over the years.
Yeah, I think I'm way over here and more quick with decisions than Bob's, heavy research. And then we kind of meet in the middle with, what works.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mike, you want to jump in with the next question?
Jen, if you've got one ready, go ahead.
All right.
Sure. So I love your story. And as you've progressed over the years, I'm curious, how has your approach changed in the sales aspect with credit card processing? As you've added merchant processing into an option that you can offer customers, how do you approach that when you're out making a sale?
So when we initially, when my wife, met Coach, YouTubing and Googling and this and that, we initially did it for us. with our, 3 companies, obviously to save money and, um, you know, so that a couple of years of that and, that and researching and learning kinda how, everything works and whatnot, and then, well, probably 3 years, and then we started really offering it to our customers, so, it kinda, it's business solutions, you know, as a whole. We do more than just advertising, with PVA. Um, we do printed to go menus for restaurants, um, any any kind of signage, magnets, um, all sort of different things. So it really is easy for us to offer payment processing, especially on the cash discount, program. And we already have their trust, most of them. Um, so it just kind of falls right into place.
Yeah, it's been a excellent compliment to and I think to y'all's point, and the point is this kind of what we're gathering out of this is if you have a clientele base already that you have worked for so many years um to gain their trust, build relationships, and everything. Adding the payment processing in was kind of a no brainer. Justin, he's salesman of the year every year. I mean, he definitely carries the sales aspect of really all of our companies. It takes a special type of person to really get out there, get in people's faces, and walk through a door and sell them something. Kind of the cold call, the door knocking, um, beating the streets. That's what
Yep.
that's what he does most of his days. Um, and in that, we've just really seen the adding it was pretty easy. Everybody in our area has kind of seen Justin, seen his skills with selling stuff, and they've actually a lot of people selling merchant services have reached out to Justin over the years to sell for him, so that, and it's something that we've always just tried to kind of avoid. He's avoided it even before I came back in the picture, and then even when we first started in the picture, um, the, together in 2020, we both kind of looked at each other and was like, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure. Let's just focus on what we got. I don't know much about that industry. It was a little. The idea was a little overwhelming at the time. It shouldn't have been. Now that we're in it, we kind of understand a little bit more. But and then we kind of like Justin said, for our own businesses, once we had three or four businesses running credit card processing, we said, and a few more people at the time had reached out to him, and I was like, maybe we should explore this a little bit more. So we kind of batted it back and forth for a few months, and then Allie did get involved, and she found one of the things that we wanted to do is like we didn't want to be involved with anybody that we knew of that was in our area. So she was doing some research. She found PayProTec, and there are a few people we've later discovered in our area selling PayProTec. It's definitely a large outreach, but we definitely feel at home with you guys and feel like we kind of have an area, kind of to ourselves in selling that. So it's really perfect. We were able to add it to our business portfolio and just reach out with our customers. So we started with ourselves and then kind of slow played. Once we understood it, we kind of introduced it to a couple of our very close customers that we had really good relationships with, and just kind of tested the waters. And like Coach said, we've been in it since 2022. But I would say I'd venture to say probably the first year we just kind of sat on the back burner trying to figure everything out, doing it ourselves, trying to learn. We didn't dive in too head first, trying to minimize mistakes and really try to learn what we're doing. And then I would say after that first year we added a few more uh, uh, clients, and within the past, I'd say the beginning of 2024, we really Justin started hitting it hard, and we have
It is definitely
since January 24, I'd say we've increased our credit card sales by 75%. I would say most of them came
probably
since
Yeah.
2024.
it's definitely our prime focus. And back a few years ago with the hesitation, we just didn't know what we didn't know, and it is definitely lucrative. it's a good business for sure.
Okay, you guys are just going, and we don't even have to ask questions. We can just keep you talking all this time. Mike, I'm going to jump in here because I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
What did you learn? You were kind of holding credit card processing off. You've been talking to some people, maybe even had some bad experiences. What were some of the tipping points that made you decide, one, to change it for yourself, and two, what to really go? You said in 2024 you really started going all in, growing by 75%. What were some of the things that caused you to go, the realities that you said, man, we can really do this, we should spend some more time focusing on growing this part of our portfolio?
Well, with our other companies, at that time, we're still trying to get people in the right places to allow me to go out and beat the streets, a lot more. I mean, we've had probably 10 different companies try to hire us because of our very large business portfolio. Um,
Mm.
I get, I don't know.
Yeah,
It really just it felt right. It was time.
yeah, the timing hit. I would say that the we started kind of seeing the potential. So, we trickled one in, we trickled a second one in, and then I would say by the end of 2023, that's when we kind of started seeing, on the residual side
Yeah.
of our dashboard, in the portal, we were like, hey, this is really kind of turning into something. I think we need to
Push it.
maybe push this a little bit, focus on it a little more, and so we really made the push in 2024, and that I feel like we added, I don't know what the average would have been, but maybe about 3 a month throughout
Yeah.
2024, with three new merchants a month, and we've continued that pretty well through 2025. Um, and definitely added a lot to our portfolio, but you know what, once the money starts getting interesting, then I think that really lights the fire. You're like, hey, this might be something here.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
focus on this a little bit more, try to understand it a little bit better, and really see what we can do.
Those $8,000 bonus.
Yeah.
It's always, if we could always help people understand how much money they can make, and we can tell them, but when you start experiencing it, that's when the energy comes in. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
this is all in all sales. You don't make money until you sell, and so it's that. How do you get that carrot and the stick and be able to make it all work? Mike, what questions you got?
So with your three main, well, I guess, yeah, your three main businesses with the golf carts and the self storage and now the processing. How did you decide back in the day who was going on that whiteboard first, and what was going to be your first targets for adding merchant services to them? And then secondly, do you have any triple hitters that have bought a golf cart from you and maybe have a storage unit and are your processing customer?
The triple play,
Or the Grand
Yes,
Slam.
sir.
the grand slam. Yeah,
That's what it is.
The
I knew
Grand
I was
Slam.
missing something.
Yeah, if they rent a unit from us, if they're paying to advertise, if we've got their payment processing, and we've sold them a golf cart,
grand slam.
Grand Slam.
So you have
We've
some
got
of
a couple
those.
of them.
Yeah.
We've got a few. And the whiteboard is now in our notes, on our phone
Yeah.
from yeah. And we probably got 40 to 50 different businesses, that we're staying on. And the initial ones were the closest, the businesses that we were the closest to, already
Yeah.
doing other stuff with them and whatnot.
Yeah, so we have on our list, basically we have we call it the hit list. I don't know how great that is, but that's what we call it. We have people who are basically hot, and those are people who we've had discussions with, that they expressed interest, and we need to definitely do some follow ups. And then a large portion, obviously, is just businesses that we know we have relationships with that we need to reach out to. I would say throughout building our current portfolio, the biggest thing that we try to do, because we're integrating it with relationships that we've already built. So in our eyes, those relationships are very delicate because our bread and butter is already coming
Yes.
from these businesses. So we don't want to introduce something to businesses that they're not going to be happy with because we already got such a good relationship with them, and we're making money and trying to help those businesses in other aspects. So one of the first things that we try to do is we looked at our closest relationships. I think
Yeah.
people that we really really knew, that really trusted us, that we had really good relationships with, that we could introduce it, and basically if we messed up,
They'll
then
learn with us.
they would learn with us,
Yeah.
and wouldn't hold us to we didn't feel like it'd mess our relationship up if we made a mistake. So and I think that's one of the reasons we were very slow to introduce it. Is like we kind of get it in a restaurant, at the time, and then we'd let it sit there for a month and just kind of learn how stuff worked and make sure everything was working out for them. And then maybe we throw one more in at one of our other clients and close. And then as time's progressed, we have gotten a little bit looser with that. But I would say that most of the merchants that we service are very close relationships. So
Most of them.
we've maybe added a few just through your door knocking and stuff like that. But the bulk of the people that we have in our portfolio is we're pretty close with. We got good relationships with.
We also went back to the initial people that asked us if we do payment processing before we were
Yeah.
doing it. So that helped a lot. I mean, we had quite a few that we could go back to and say, hey, we went ahead and got in this field, and we've tested the waters with our own businesses. So it worked out.
That's
All
good
right.
stuff. I know you guys are cautious and you want it to be successful, and it's worked great for you guys to be like that and to take your time, and I love the approach. It's helped you guys a lot. I love it. Sorry, Nate.
Oh, no, that's good. I was wondering, as you've developed this multiple business, you got golf carts, you've got self-storage, you got storage, you've got promo vision and advertising, and now payments. As you've grown in the payments, have you changed what you sell first to businesses and to new businesses when you're building relationships? And has that ever entered into, and this is a question because I don't know, have you ever started leading with payments before you introduce some of your other products and other businesses?
Yeah, kind of all of the above. Um, if it's a new business opening up, payment processing is the first thing we sell. If there's an established business, we normally try to get one of our advertising TVs in. You know, they know that we also do the payment processing, but we don't really push it until we gain some sort of relationship with them in another way. Um, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would I like I said, Justin Salesman of the Year, man. He hits nail on the head. And I don't know if somebody pulls in here to purchase a golf cart or rent a storage unit, and they're driving some type of work truck. Justin gives them a
They're
business
getting a
card,
card.
but he's got the double-sided business cards, man. So he flips it out on the applicable business, the storage or the golf carts, and then he's quick to flip it over and say, "These are some other things that we do."
Yeah.
And yeah, we're definitely entering into that field now where we're Justin's getting out there and introducing payment processing before some of our other services, and it's proven to work well. Even if we're learning that even though we don't have relationships necessarily with some businesses, our name in the local area kind of speaks for itself. If we don't know them personally, we're disconnected by maybe one person, so they can make a phone
Right.
call and quickly learn that we're here, we're doing legit business, we're men of our word. If we tell somebody something's gonna be one way, we want to make sure that it stays that way. Small town, you can't you can't mess your name up. So we work really hard to do the best we can, keeping our name good.
I love that. I mean, and I'm going to kind of add in, then Jenny and Mike, I'll let you guys ask other questions. What has Mike entered this? Payments does not always go smoothly. It's not perfect. There are 30 different businesses that are involved in every transaction. As much as we want everything to go perfectly ahead, what have you learned about some of the hiccups that happen in payments that you've had to overcome and to build that loyalty and that transparency with your businesses and continue to be able to do that? And what do you wish you knew in 22 that you learned in 24, let's say, when you really started jumping in, that has helped you grow faster and be more effective at it? So what are some of the bumps in the road that have hit that stand out to you, and what are things you wished you knew in 22?
Probably the lack of knowledge on the POS system side would be a hurdle. We really push, obviously the cash discount and, simple, terminals, but obviously some businesses that's not a good fit. So that would be a big hurdle and something that, you know, definitely need to get more well versed on is Paradise and what's the other one?
Quick POS, yeah.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah, which we have introduced a few of those. We've definitely taken our time kind of trying to learn the equipment. Um, eh, I would say that in 2022, we were just the equipment kind of overwhelmed us. Obviously, there's a lot of different aspects there, so we were just being super cautious. I wish that we would have dove into it a little bit harder, used our resources a little bit better. We've learned mypayprotec.com has all the resources, that you need. Of course, we've got Coach. I mean, we couldn't have done any of this without
No.
Coach. We I don't know if we annoy him or not, but man, we talk to
No.
we talk to Coach daily. He swears we don't, but sometimes I feel like I'm like, man, we're always on the phone with Coach. So he's our third salesman. He helps us out a lot. But in 2024, we've kind of learned a lot more about what what is applicable for what businesses. And basically another thing that I wish we would have known is when we first started out, we kind of let the merchant, the client, uh dictate a little bit of what they wanted. They were like, I'm looking for this, I wanted to do XYZ. And, we would kind of go down a rabbit hole of trying to satisfy their request. And I think as times progress now in 2024, we're a little more confident, and we can look at the client and be like, you don't want that. That's not what you want. You want this. So, we can kind of direct the client a little bit better, take a minute to understand their business, and what kind of, equipment or, sales portal. We've done a lot of the fluid pay and whatnot. And when POS works the best, we offer it. A lot of we have a lot of small town restaurants here and stuff like that, and we kind of steer them away from uh, point of sale systems. I love selling point of sale systems. I'm not. But when you look at the numbers, you have to. We want to make sure that what they're purchasing makes sense for them. What they're buying makes sense for them, and I wish we would have known a little bit better how to direct businesses, and I think we're learning
Yeah.
that and doing a better job with it.
But most of those people, they want the option that saves them the most money.
Yeah.
So, you know,
All right, Jenny, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm curious for what's next for you guys. Do you see that payment processing is going to be one of your larger portions of everything that you do? Do you have plans for the future? What's next in the future?
we're currently expanding the mini storage facility side of things. That's going to be a huge deal. Credit cards or payment processing is definitely going to be up there, you know, eventually. I want to know how many accounts the high,
Yeah, the top selling,
the top
we're always
selling.
who
Like
who do we need to beat?
where do we rank currently?
Yeah.
We're always wondering that, obviously I know that there's some, anonymity there with sharing information like that, but we're always like, we need a goal. We
Yeah.
need to know,
How many accounts do they have?
yeah,
Yeah.
who do we need to beat? Who's the person to beat?
But I think
We have
that's
every. Go ahead.
for, you guys run as a I would call it, I don't want to call it a one-man show, but I know you guys split the responsibilities and have three other businesses you operate. So in effect, it kind of is that. And when you're doing 3 to 5, if somebody does 7 deals a month in that scenario, they're busy. And there's a lot of juggling that goes that, as you guys know. Um, so the volume of what you guys do is good. You bring probably bigger than average deals to the table. Our real heavy hitters are not even comparable because they own a call center or they have a team of
Hmm.
15 agents. And so, you know, those aren't the same. The relationships are not the same. Those relationships, with a call center are minimal, and you're going to see those. Their attrition is going to be far higher than yours. So it's really difficult to say, well, this guy did 50 deals last month or whatever when, he's got 15 operators on the phone. So I don't know. Anything to
Well,
add to that, Nate, as far as a
yeah.
goal or a target to be one of those upper ones?
Well,
I mean, I think the
yeah.
deals you have in now, you're killing it. But
And I haven't looked at your portfolio, but I have been looking at our portfolios as a whole because we're going to year-end meetings next week. And one of the things I've noticed as a statistical, that's basically when the jump from 5 to 10 a month of average for, some people will do 14 in one month and then 2 the next. So it's an average over a rolling 6 months. Every basically 10 average, you need to add a full-time person that's going to help manage that after you've been doing it if you're for 6 months. Once you have 60 and 120, because what happens is in order to grow that portfolio, so it's different for every person. So for some people, they're like, no, we don't want to add staff. We don't want to add. And so, you know, are you our largest office? No, but are you successful for within your goals? You have to set with what you want to do. And that's somebody sounds to me like you guys, you're going to grow the self storage, and then you're going to meet more people that need this small, all this, you just keep growing and trying to figure it out. But there are huge opportunities, and we see people that have been doing this for 10 years that are, you make that jump from 10 a month and 20 a month, and you keep that attrition low, and you get to the point where, this becomes just, a big piece of what you're doing. And like we always preach, you never know because the other thing about this is it's an asset. So you may at some point say, "Hey, we want to take some of this money. We got another idea. We're going to I'm going to choose something that I can't imagine you choose just to go absurd. We're going to start a pet grooming store, and we want money to
I might
invest."
have.
And you say, so, okay, maybe you'll do that. And you want to invest. And so you sell part of your current residual, as we call it, the residual buyout, and you sell, 25 or 50% of your buyout to be able to get 40x and be able to invest in other things. And I don't think I've seen your guys' names on any of our RBOs, but there's so many things you can do, and everybody does it different. So we have, the call centers that are doing, you know, 20 or 30 a day, if not more. And then we have people like yourselves. They're just in defining that success. So because there is an anonymity that we don't like, we don't get to do the put it up on the board and everybody compete against each other, because this is not how we do our business. And but we try to help you reach the goal you want to get to. So, and trying to figure out how to do that. What do you, Mike, I'll come back to you on another question, but what do you think? You said you're expanding the storage. How do you guys work together to make those decisions about what the next priority is? 24 was the year of payments. I'm going to call it that. 25, I'm not sure what it was. 26 is the expansion of storage. How do you guys work together with you and your team and your families to make those decisions of what are the priorities and what to get the focus to help grow?
Well, where we're at, and probably in a lot of places across the U.S., the mini storage it's a good business, and based on I mean, we're turning people down on the self storage side almost one a day, when we're here.
you're
So we've
full,
been
you're saying?
here since 2020.
Whew.
Go ahead.
You're full, you're saying?
Oh yeah, we're 100% full. When we
Oh,
have been
man.
since we bought it in 2020. So we're overdue for expansion for sure with the mini storage. Um, and we have 12 acres.
9.5 acres
Oh yeah,
in the city.
and so we have plenty of room for growth there. And of course, it's a it's a cash cow, if you will. So it's going to allow us to do a lot of different things, as well as payment processing. I mean, we're climbing up there pretty good on the residual side. Um, So
Yeah, to kind of go back to Jenny's question too. Uh, I would say that credit cards has reached a point which it probably represents about 8 to 10% of our total business portfolio, and we definitely want to continue that uptick of increasing it. We haven't even really scratched the surface with the thousands of contacts that we have developed over the past decade. um we, like I said, we just really have been focusing on close relationships, but I mean we have so many more, and a lot of it hinders on finding the time. We're hindered by finding the time to reach out to them, and because once you reach out, you got to continue following up and make sure you close the deal. So there is a time investment there, but we kind of bounce around. We just saw that it was time. The opportunity for building the mini storage was overdue. uh the you know Door opened up really well this year for us to do that. uh a lot of slow plays, so some property came available next door. We bought the property, going through the bank and doing all that stuff. That's definitely a challenge, and a long process. And then the property that we bought had a couple trailers on it, so it required a lot of cleanup. But we got it graded, ready. We're ready to build for sure. So when we do that, obviously, our focus has to be a little bit more on one business than the other during those times. So we will. I would say for the next probably 6 months or so, we're going to lean pretty heavily on uh, the real estate aspect, the mini storage aspect of the business. Not to say that we aren't going to continue running our, everything else that we do, but we just kind of everything's running across the board. We have an excellent team working with us, and we just kind of when a door opens, we just kind of really hone in on one thing and then move around to the next and make sure it's all working seamlessly together.
Perfect. Mike, you got a question?
Sorry, I had muted
Yeah.
myself. Um, not a simple question. I know you guys are both active outside of work and have lots of things going on with family. So if you guys would take turns telling us a little bit about what you do. Bob, I see both your guys' activities on Facebook actually, but just share a little bit about what you do in your personal time and as much as you want to share. I don't mean it to sound like that, like personal stuff, but what do you do for fun?
I hunt a lot. Um, I got he's about to be 10. Two kids, obviously, 9 and 12, and Mason's about to be 10 in February. So I've started taking Hunter, my 12-year-old, hunting quite a bit. But ultimately, I mean, anything outdoors. Both my kids are into baseball as I was growing up. Um, you know, yard selling,
Dang.
always
Yeah.
finding the next deal. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, on my end, I would definitely say that you know, outside of work, family is definitely my biggest driver. I have 3 kids, six, a 2, and a 2-year-old and a newborn. 6-year-old, 2-year-old, and a newborn. She's 5 months. I say newborn, infant. And then of course my wife. Uh, my wife owns and runs her a therapy clinic, and I would say coach has probably seen this looking at Facebook, and I get flack from Justin all the time. But anytime we can, we're on the go. We definitely we like to camp. We have a camper, and we take it all over the place. Most last month in October, or 2 months ago now, in October, we took a trip to Niagara Falls, pulling the camper. So Atlanta to Niagara Falls, we definitely had a lot of stops on the way, and that was a fun. Took us about 2 weeks, but drug the kids with us and did that. So real active in church. I go to a local church here, and we're stay busy with a lot of activities there throughout the week. And yeah, that's pretty much.
So 6 months vacation.
6 months
year?
vacation, 6 month on, 6 month off.
Yeah, you and Kelly do a lot, and Justin and I did joke about it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 56 years old though, and so I did some camping. My kids were young, but you guys are killing it. I mean, I'm literally watching you guys setting up cribs, and you got the strollers, and then you stay for 2 days because you were gonna visit this area, then you had to keep driving, and you're like not sure how much the kids like this, but you guys are just yeah. I mean, it's such adventure, such things they're gonna remember, and it's awesome. But I don't envy that workload.
Yeah,
Justin
it's a
said
lot of work. A
Justin
lot,
said you
lot of
two have
work, but
always been that way. Go with the flow, get her done.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well,
It's good
before,
stuff.
before wife and kids, it was me and Bob. He called me one day. He called me one day. I was at the movies. I was, what was it? Were you 18?
18, yeah, I think
He
18.
said, "You want to go fly to New York?" And I was like, "Sure." And he said, "All right, I'm waiting outside." And we literally
Oh
flew to New
my
York
God,
for a day.
that is an awesome story.
Things you can't
Girl
do.
at the movie theater.
Yeah. Yeah, she had to call her parents, come pick her up.
Yeah, that was kind of yeah. Well, it was fun. It's a fun story now.
Jenny.
That's good stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, we
man.
all have kids in various levels of growing up. Nobody has any as young as yours anymore, Bob, on this call. But you guys are having a blast. It's like
Man, and
there's a lot more to
camping
come.
with a newborn or an infant, that's impressive. That's
Absolutely is.
I've done a little camping, but
Yeah, the road trip was definitely interesting. My wife definitely I mean she's awesome, but she's ready to roll too. So any opportunity we get, she wants to go. Of course, when she gets back, she's like, we got to stay home. And then 3 weeks down the road, she's like, all right, I'm looking at this so and so. I'm gonna book this, and
Yeah.
so it's like we're exhausted when we get back, but it doesn't take long, and we're planning the next thing.
that's awesome.
Jenny has that adventurous life. She's the next most adventurous person on this call, and runs races that are 100 miles, and that's the one that sticks in our head the most because Nate and I are in the single digits and not running. But
So
Jenny loves the outdoors, and Jenny
Imagine
loves that spirit.
And
living in
hunting too, you
Colorado.
said
That's
like
got to
your
be
hunting season is on right now, right? Yeah. So
Yep.
Well, yeah, Colorado, they've got these races. What's it called again, Jenny, when you're going from one level to the next? A 14er or
the
like
14ers. Yeah, the mountains.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
so
Yeah, I bet that's an adventure every day being in Colorado. I'd love to if it wasn't so far, that'd be a tough drive to get out there and do any camping, but I bet there's a lot of opportunities out there.
It's fantastic.
it
I
is
love it.
amazing. Every time I get to go out there, and Jenny knows this, I'm out every morning getting as many trails as I can because I can't do this in Indiana. We don't. Our highest elevation is Crown Hill Cemetery in the center of Indianapolis, and that's what 600 feet over square or 600 over sea level. So there's not much to do here. All right, my last question, I don't know if Jenny and Mike have a question, but is what would you say to business owners who are serving businesses? They may be doing things similar to you, or maybe they're other services. They're doing HVAC for businesses, whatever they're doing. Why should they consider adding payments as another thing that they would sell to the businesses they're already serving?
It fits in so well. In fact, we in our time doing this, we've developed a lot of a lot of relationships with people who are people who are selling merchant services, and you're kind of really surprised. It's like, hey, this guy's selling what is I won't say his name, but one of the local guys, he sells like air gas or something, CO2 to restaurants and welding supply places. He's got other tanked gases that he sells, and but he's got that client list, and he just kind of puts it all together. I mean, he does a real good job with that, and I think that's kind of a different way of doing it, but he's same contacts, so he's running restaurants all the time. So I would say basically anything you're doing, landscaping, plumbing, like you said, HVAC, really anything where you're working in commercial businesses. If you've got a contact list, uh, adding merchant services can be very easy. It seems like it would be complicated, but it doesn't take long to start understanding the world. And obviously, working with PayProTec, you get partnered up with awesome people. We got Coach. I don't know how many coaches there are on the team, but we're happy to have Coach Mike there supporting us. And anytime we have a question or we kind of run into a roadblock, he's always there. And if he can't answer it, he's got the resources to help us out. But yeah, if you've got a business with a client base, I would say you should definitely look into selling merchant. But one of our regrets, I think, at this point is we should have done this a long time ago.
Exactly. I say it all the time.
Yeah, we waited. We waited around too long. We were just like, we're not. We're focused on this. We're focused on that. Let's not dive into that right now. And now looking at it, sitting where we are, we're like, man, we could have started this 5 years earlier, 6, 7 years earlier. Why didn't we do it? So don't wait.
Yeah, definitely don't wait. It's a great thing. It's a great add-on to help help your help your customers and make a lot of money.
Like it. Mike and Jenny, either of you have a last question?
I'm okay.
No, I'm just going to take that tagline though that you just said, help your customers and make some money. Like that's fantastic.
And I'm going to say, don't wait.
It
The
is
best
what it
time
is.
was
Don't
the best
wait.
time to start was 7 years ago, but the right date is to start today. So don't wait.
Yeah.
So, all right,
But
we are
probably
so
wouldn't be.
thankful. Oh, go ahead, guys. Yep.
I was going to say we wouldn't be where we're at if we would have started back then because we wouldn't be with PayPro. So
Well,
Yeah,
it all works out.
all works
Yep.
out.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for, what I love about these series of interviews that we do is there's so many different ways to do this business, and we're here to support it all and try to figure out how's the best way to help you meet the goals you have and to grow the way you want to. And I have so many more questions I want to ask about your advertising business and how you're doing storage and all of it mixed together, but we'll have to do that another time. But I think you guys are a great model of being committed, being customer focused, and making sure that you're providing products that actually meet the needs of the businesses you're serving. And you're doing a great job at that. And thank you for being part of the PayProTec family. I'm going to have Mike give us a closing word for December 4th, and I will highlight just before I go over, Mike, December 18th. Email will go out tomorrow to save the date as Holiday Palooza 2026, our third annual. We've been doing Christmases, but we started calling it Holiday Palooza. This will be our third time calling it Holiday Palooza. We're going to be doing giveaways. We'll have over thousands of dollars of gifts. We'll doing trivia. We're going to do interviews. There'll be little segments of different types from Office Hours and POS Uncensored. We're doing interviews with some teams from Deja Vu, from Quick, and we're going to be highlighting what we believe will be the launch pad into 2026, being yet another of our best years ever as we continue to grow together with you. So that's 2 to 4 live on YouTube. There will be some things that you can watch afterwards and you can still win, but most of our prizes will be during live. I know we're this year we're doing some of our favorite things, and we're giving away TVs. We're going to be giving away a full Quick, different POS systems that you can use. Plus, I saw it's just going to be a lot of fun. So put that in. You'll see emails. I think we have 4 emails going out over the next 2 weeks, several text messages, and just make sure you're here between 2 to 4 on November 18th. That's 2 weeks from today, and Christmas is almost there. I mean, how does that happen? Mike Stetzel, close us out for this December 4th.
Thank you guys for being on here. We even went a little long, but like Nate said, you guys have such a story and you guys are willing to share. Hopefully we can get you guys out and about someday, maybe do it as a vacation. We'd love to take care of you and get to meet all of you in person somehow, whether it's in Florida or whether it's in Chicago. That one in the Western States is pretty far out there. Going to be in Boston. I think, are we going to be in Boston, Nate?
Well, we'll announce that in the next couple of weeks, but we will, I know, be ETAs in Atlanta, which will be this year in
Oh,
March. So we will for sure be in Atlanta in your neck of the woods doing
okay.
some type of dinner. We'll put that together. So no, you might as well travel to Miami if you want to too, or all the way out to California. But we will be in Atlanta this year. I think we'll be
I forgot
announcing
about
those
that.
here in the next couple of weeks. But all right, back to you, Mike.
Excellent. So anyway, thank you guys. As far as a final thought, I just I loved doing these so far, and we're going to continue to do them a little bit in the first year. We're going to sprinkle them in. Um, but thank you guys for sharing your story and sharing the ways you do this and helping our partners. And hopefully it's okay. I'll check with you first, but if I get hit up for people looking to chat with you, I'll check in with you first. But I know you guys could be a pretty good source of information for people. So just want to be thankful for all these partners we've seen so far this year on these shows and that been able to share and just really appreciate it. And that's my thought for the day. It kind of commingles with a little bit of a conclusion all at the same time.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. On behalf of Jenny Rickle, Mike Stetzel, Nate Manahan, Bob, and Justin, thank you so much for joining us and being part of the PayProTec family. We hope everyone has a great week. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time on Office Hours. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.